Hi, I'm Tony Duce, Chef Lecturer here at Truro and Penwith College. Welcome to our Spires Training Restaurant, where we're starting a series of online tutorials for apprentices and full-time students in conjunction with our Hospitality Table Cornwall and obviously Truro and Penwith College. Today we're going to be looking at classic veg cuts and veg prep. So we've got some veg in from our local supplier West Country Fruit Sales, who's deliver all of our fruit and veg to the college. We've got some amazing Cornish asparagus, some local carrots, cauliflower, some wonderful Cornish new potatoes and celery, and then obviously not so local that are done over in Holland is obviously courgettes and tomatoes. So we're going to be doing some classic veg cuts and prep with those today. So to get ourselves set up, we need to make sure we've got our board secured. We've got the equipment that we need to hand, so we've got my kitchen knives here that I need, veg knife, chef's knife, steel and peeler, and also a turning knife. I've got some containers here to put my veg and my waste in, which we'll talk about a little later. So let's start with the classic veg cuts. We're all nicely cleaned down, everything's clear. Let's start with a carrot, nice and easy to start with. So we're going to peel, so we're going to bring the bowl over, so we're not making any mess on the board at all. Let's peel that carrot straight down. Okay, so that's the carrot done. And now we're going to just do some squaring it down. Let's just take top and tail off. You're going to see what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to put this in a separate bowl and I'll talk about what we're going to do with the waste later on. Okay, so we're going to do two classic cuts. So let's cut it in half so it makes it easier to work with. Okay, and then we're just going to put a little edge on it so the carrot sits nicely on the board. And that's going to go in that one there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to square the carrot off. And I'm going to take nice, small, about 1.5 to 2 millimetre slices of the carrot. Then, just again, managing the amount of vegetables I've got, I'm just going to cut down again, about the same size as the slice going down. Okay, so again, line it all up. So we're working with manageable amount of veg rather than lots of veg on the board. Nice even squares. So I don't know if you noticed on that second bit, I kept the point of the knife on the board, so I have complete control of the knife as the knife goes down slicing. So this is our first cut. This is a small dice, and this is classically called brunoise. Okay, with the other part of the carrot, what we're going to do is we're going to make slightly bigger dice. Okay, about 1/2 centimetre or just over 1/2 centimetre. Again, it's all about consistency in the cuts, and this cut is classically called Macedonian cut. Okay, next I've got a piece of celery that's been washed and tops and tailed. The tops we put into the waste bowl. We're going to do another cut, so we're going to cut lengths of about 4 centimetres, like so. You see how to keep consistency. I put one behind the other so I can keep it the right size. And then we're going to simply split it in half and in half again, like so. Celery is a nice easy one to practice this cut on. Nice and consistent. And then we have it. That is classically jardiniere cut on with a celery. Okay, next we've got another piece of carrot again, and we're going to cut some nice thin slices. We're going to take the slices, put them together just 2 at a time, and we're going to finely slice all the way down. The same with the next one. And that classic cut is called Julienne. So the next cut we're going to do is a classic cut that's used in a lot of soups. We're just going to take, all I've done is peeled a carrot and chopped it in half. And we're just going to take some nice half moon slices. Like so. And also celery, again being cleaned and topped and tailed. And again, same with that, we're just going to take some nice slices. Like so. And this classic cut is called paysanne. Next we've got a tomato. We're going to turn this into tomato concasse. Now normally if you're doing tomato concasse, what you would do is take the core out and put a cross in the top and then blanch it into hot water for 10 seconds, straight into cold water, so you can peel the skin off. We're going to do it without using water. So what we're going to do is cut the tomato into quarters. Okay, and then we're just going to flip that so I can just take the inside out very carefully with the knife. Okay. And I'm just going to push down on the fillet and then just take the skin off. I'll do that again. It is better to get the more consistent skin off is to blanch them in water first. This gives you a petal, so these are petals, and then we're going to turn the petals into concasse. So slicing down one way, then again nice even squares, are probably about 2 millimeters squared for this cut. So that one is tomato concasse. Next we're going to move away a bit from the classic veg cuts and we're going to prep some of this amazing Cornish asparagus. So we're just going to make sure the tips are all levelled up, and then I'm just going to make a cut there. Take the woody bit off, we'll maybe use that later. Okay, then what I normally do is I get a pan, just turn it upside down so I can bring the asparagus up to me a bit closer, a bit easier to prep. We're going to just simply peel it down. So again, light fingers, just being gentle with the product. It just makes the asparagus a little easier to eat, slightly less stringy, but peeling it. So we have peeled asparagus ready for service. Okay, next we're going to cut some florets. So we've got a lovely Cornish cauliflower here. So we're quite simply going to take the bottom off. Now these are really nice actually, roasted whole, really nice. But we're going to cut this into florets today. Just take all of the outer leaves off. Okay, then we're going to take our little veg knife and we're just going to go in and around the root. So we're going to go down at a slight angle so we can take the root out. Being careful with the knife, of course. Like so, to take the root out. Then we can break it down into our florets. Rather than using the knife at this point, I tend to just break it down by hand, using the knife when I need to, if it's a little bit, got a bit of root on. Like so. We'll just check our florets so we're happy with them. Trim up as we go. Try and keep them, they're all the same size, so when they come to the cooking, they all cook evenly. So once they're all cut up, like so, that is florets of cauliflower. Okay, next I'm going to show you some turning of vegetables. So we've got some courgette here, so we're just going to cut 2 slices off of that. Then I'm going to cut it in half, then into quarters down the side. Same with this one. Okay. Bowl to put the waste in. So we're going to hold the vegetable using a turning knife, which has got that little curve to it, and we're just going to gently turn it into a barrel shape. Like so. Turning a courgette is slightly different to normal turning vegetables because you want to keep a little bit of the skin on as a little sort of like show of the vegetable rather than just a white vegetable. We want a bit of that green in for colour and texture. Just even to it. I'm letting the knife do the work, putting hardly any pressure on that at all. Nice barrel shapes. And that's turned courgette. Turned potatoes is the next one we're going to do. I've washed these Cornish News, lovely potatoes, and simply all we're going to do is take the top and tail off of that. Then very similar to what we did with the courgette, hold it, and then just barrel shapes going down. Nice even barrel shapes. Okay, and then we have turned potatoes. So that completes the basic veg prep today. Let's summarise and see what we've done. So we've obviously done the florets of cauliflower, we've done our classic veg cuts here, we've done our asparagus, turned potatoes and turned courgettes, but the most important thing I want to talk about is the waste. So we've got all of the waste here, and I've put it into separate bowls for a reason. So we've got the waste from the carrots, the celery and the tomatoes. We're just going to roughly chop that up, which is another classic chop called mirepoix, which can be used in stocks and sauces as a base. And then I've kept the courgette trimmings, I've kept the cauliflower root, and I've kept the asparagus, and then I've got just general potato peelings and carrot peelings and the cauliflower here. That can go into compost, so we don't want to waste anything. So we've got a compost bin for this. The asparagus trimmings can be cut down and used for a soup or a puree of some kind. Same with the courgette, same with the cauliflowers. Thank you, I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial.